Batman is a skilled gymnast ass kicker in this one.
He does a dunk scissor kick.
And here we go again with another episode of Comic Books and Cold Ones, the podcast that we use as an excuse to talk about comic books and drink beer at the same time. I'm K-Mac, and I'm here with...
Yak. Welcome everybody out there in podcast land. Welcome back to listening to this podcast where we go through some comic book obscura and enjoy some cold ones talking to you. And hopefully you read along and drink along with us.
Yeah, and I think we have a good episode set for tonight. But first, some housekeeping. We had the Avengers draft episode last time. We posted a poll on Twitter, right? And the fans spoke. At first, I was up 67% to 33%, but then Yek caught up and we ended up in a 50-50 tie.
I love how he refers to by percentages when we got all of 3 votes and he was leading 2-1, and we covered the thing by 2-2 because we have us and maybe 2 fans out there, and we want to shout out to our fans out there.
Right. And I guess our number one fan is someone in Columbus, Ohio, because that city has had at least one download for every single one of our episodes. So our favorite city, Columbus, Ohio.
We love you, Columbus, Ohio. We love Jenny's ice cream. I have been to and tried the Terminator burger traveling through Columbus, Ohio, and you can read a lot of comic books while trying to eat that giant burger.
Cool. Yeah, I've never been. I've never even been to the state of Ohio, but I have been to Louisville, Kentucky, which is super close.
Yeah. Factoid for you. Who is Columbus, Ohio named after?
Not Christopher Columbus.
Well, actually, it is named after him.
Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, so, you were close.
Obviously, Christopher Columbus. So that's hilarious. So otherwise, Yak, how you doing?
Pretty good. Summer's winding down here. Finally getting to that transition period when we go from really super light lagers and IPAs to starting to get some dark color in my beers. But tonight, I think we're going to be finishing off with some lightness since we still have some warmth out there. But we'll get that in a little bit. But that's the way I like my beer seasonal, like my comic books. And when we start to get some hazy darkness in the sky, it's that time of year that we actually start thinking more melancholy thoughts, more artistic thoughts. And that's what brings us here tonight too. What are we doing tonight, Kevin?
Well, tonight is our first foray into the fine art of comic telling as a service to educate all of the peasants out there. We call this Masterpiece Comics Theater. So welcome, everybody.
Welcome to Masterpiece Comics Theater. For this evening, I'm your host, Sir Yexington, man of Sans Comics Letters of the Advanced Institute of Funny Book Studies, the AIOFBS, and I'm joined here tonight by my good friend and very astute scholar.
Well, this is Lord K. Mackworth III of Lincolnshire, and I am affiliated with the Royal Society of Comics and Sundries.
Pop.
Good evening.
Bully. That's a very good welcome to you all out there, you peasants ready to learn. Tut. That's a very, very high honor to be a member of the Royal Institute of Comics and Sundries, and I'm graciously joined. So this is one where we delve into this episode some deeper art of storytelling through the years of comic books, and we actually talk about some issues that you should go out there and read as fans to be fully educated on the growth of comic books as the medium of the 20th century and 21st century beyond as the highest art. And we also get, when we're talking high art, that means we get to drink fancy beers.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what we'll be doing tonight. So while we've been drinking your local over-the-counter craft beers, tonight's when we get those one-off special beers that you get to see out there that come in big bottles. And you're always like, is that any good? Is that any good? And Sir Yexington and Lord K. Mackworth here are telling you about some fancy ones that we got. And hopefully they will go along with the comics books we're going to be reading tonight. Should we tell them what comics we're talking about first, or should we talk about our beers first, Lord Mackworth?
Well, let's go with the beers first. Okay. You go ahead. You start off.
Well, tonight we'll be talking about a rogues gallery of villains. And when such villains gather together, you could say it's a snake's den of villains. And that's what I'll be drinking tonight. I have with me tonight the 750 milliliter bottle raspberry snake den Saison from Seven Locks Brewing out of Rockville, Maryland, that we've covered before. This comes in at 6.8% alcohol by volume. It is gorgeous, beautiful, but it is a snake's den of villains. That's a little hint for what we're going to be talking about.
So now let's go over the other beers you've had that had snakes in the title. Hasn't there been two others?
Yes, the previous episode, or 2 episodes ago on our summer vacations, we had This Floor is Snakes, which was from a Oliver Brewing out of Baltimore, Maryland. A very good double IPA. This one's a high art regular version. Seven Locks makes Snake's Den Saison, and this is one they barrel aged in whiskey barrels and added raspberry, which is a unique style that I had to kind of Google around on. But raspberry Saisons are some up and coming thing. I don't know if they're actually made in Europe, or Saisons are from Belgium. It's a style out of there. It's kind of their regular drinking farmhouse ale. But this one, raspberry Saisons, I think have kind of a history there, and they've come over the U.S. But I've never had one that has actually been barrel aged in whiskey barrels. And usually barrel aged beers come on pretty high octane, but this one's pretty mellow. So I'm very interested in trying it. Very pumped that it suits the weather and suits the snakes dens of villains we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
And Lord K. Mackworth, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, so mine's a little different. Mine's not a 750 milliliter beer, but I couldn't resist with the name. So I have a beer called Champagne Velvet.
Ooh, Champagne Velvet.
Which is perfect for the fine art of comic storytelling, the classic issues we're going to talk about today. The label on the beer says that the beer with the $1 million flavor.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. There we go.
There's nothing like that sitting in our study here at the Comic Manor, ready to talk some fancy comic books and crack that open. So how many ABV is that coming in at?
This is coming at 5.5 ABV, and
Ooh, that's smooth.
It's good. Yeah. Well, I've never had it before, but it's good ABV. And it's from Upland Brewing Company, which is out of Bloomington, Indiana. And apparently this beer is a pretty old beer. It's originally created in 1902, and the brewery that made it, I guess, went out of business and got back into business. So it's a classic beer to go with the classic stories tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's crack these bad boys open so all people can enjoy along with us.
All right.
And I'll pour this one out in my fancy glass.
I should have got a fancy glass too. Should have got my Stella glass. Sweet, sweet sounds.
Oh, the smell on that bad boy. It's smelling pretty good. All right. First swig. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's unique.
Mine's velvety for sure.
Yeah. This is it's got the tartness of the raspberry. It still tastes a little saison-y, but you can taste a little bit of that rye whiskey barrel in the back end there, which you wouldn't expect. It doesn't cloud. It comes out pretty clear, or golden color, not dark and heavy, syrupy like you would expect from that. So to go along tonight, Lord K. Mackworth, we will be discussing a very seminal issue in the 1970s of Batman that most people might know from the cover issue of it. Their first of this, and this is Batman 291 through 294 that appeared from September 1977 to December 1977. And the title of these series were Where Were You on the Night Batman Was Killed? So these are seminal because this is one of the first forays into Batman storytelling and DC storytelling where they go over multiple issues, not one-shot issues like they had been doing since the 50s, 60s onwards, where Batman would just face a villain and everything would be resolved at the end. And in the 70s came out. Can you tell me a little bit about what's happening with DC and Marvel at that time?
Well, Marvel was obliterating DC, essentially. DC sales were way down. DC, I think, if I'm correct, they were doing a lot of reprints in their issues too. So they weren't even necessarily having full issues of new stories and then the stories were also self-contained in one issue. Marvel was doing things like the Kree-Skrull War, which went over multiple issues and brought in multiple characters, from the entire Marvel universe, from Earth to outer space. So DC was really getting pummeled, and also too in Marvel at the same time, the X-Men were starting to come on strong in the late '70s. So DC had to think of something else to do, or if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, and so they finally got into what we'll be discussing is a multi-part 4-issue series that doesn't tell comic book stories the way you're used to it in DC Universe, where it's all the action of the hero. You're hearing these things from other perspectives and getting the story told to you, and it's very unique in that sense. It for the people that have watched Super Friends, it kind of harkens back to some of the character of the Super Friends series, which had just come on in the '70s there also, where it's kind of campy, but also really serious in these weird DC ways where like people actually die. And so we'll actually be discussing that along. But the whole premise of Where Were You on the Night the Batman Was Killed is the Batman appears dead, and it starts off the issue where all the villains in all of the U.S. Are trying to claim that they killed the Batman because the Batman has disappeared, and it's apparent that the Batman has been killed by one of the villains. And each villain is trying to tell their own story across the U.S., and they decide, hey, somebody killed the Batman, but we don't know who. So they convene a court at a rich villain's house in Gotham, and they bring in all the villains for the first times into a snake's den of villain, like the beer I'm drinking, and they hold a court to try people, not in the way you think, to find who's guilty, but to find who's guilty, but actually to find out more who's not guilty. And so the Batman stories in these 4 issues are not told from the point of view of the Batman trying to track down the villains. They're told from the point of view of the villains themselves, and this third party kind of camera view where they're actually going through and telling the stories. And it's really interesting to see that kind of as a growth of where DC was with the Batman, I discover a clue, I got a villain, he whacks me in the back of the head, and then I come recover from the whack of the head, and then I come back and I save the day. So it's very exciting. So they convene this thing, and so it's also one of the first gatherings ever of all Batman villains. And so that's kind of the background. Now, Kevin, can you tell me a little about the court they assemble to try the different villains? So that each villain who's claiming they're going to be the person that actually killed the Batman, they have to be presented in the court and then testify to be found guilty of actually killing the Batman, which means good things, unlike real court where if you're found guilty is bad. But
so the purpose of this trial is to honor the guilty.
Yes,
the person who was successful in killing the Batman will get all the accolades of having been the one who overcame the Batman when no one else could ever even come close.
Yes.
So you said the trial was at the estate of some rich guy. It's at the estate of Colonel Jake the Claw van Cleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think from what I could find, he hasn't actually appeared anywhere else but this story, and he didn't really even appear in this story. But so that's where it is. It's at an estate, and there's bodyguards with machine guns out front.
Yes, and so this is like I said, one of the first time they're trying to do this. They tried to do it a few issues before when they had the Olympics of Crime, but it was not so centralized. They didn't really use any of the Batman villains, so they didn't really do that. So this is like the first time that like they're trying to mash everything up well. And yes, I don't think I've ever heard of the Claw before in any other issues, but he was just a rich dude who was like, bring me all the villains, bring me that snake's den in, let's get this court going, which is very interesting.
I have a theory about him that we can talk about at the end.
Theories.
Theory, yes.
Conspiracies.
And probably it is not something the authors thought of, but I mean, he's just an aside, I guess.
Well, I might have to rule whether you're guilty or not guilty on your conspiracies.
Yes, yeah, you might have to.
So they've set up where I'm a villain being invited to Mr. the Claw's house. Tell me, who will be the judge for this trial, Mr. K. Mackworth, Lord K. Mackworth?
The judge straight out of Nanda Parbat, not at this time, but straight out of Nanda Parbat, is Ra's al Ghul.
And why did they choose Ra's al Ghul?
Because he's probably the oldest, but no, did they say why?
He's an infamous master of legal intricacies.
Oh, jeez. And so Well, that makes sense. And the obvious prosecutor in this case is Harvey Dent, Two-Face.
Because he was Gotham's lead prosecutor before he got acid poured in his face. Probably the best legal mind in all of the DC universe, one of the few lawyers you see in the DC universe. Unlike Marvel, who has lawyers at the yin yang,
Yes.
DC has very, very few. They flip flop with magicians in the Marvel universe versus lawyers in the DC universe, where there's lots of magicians
In
in the DC
DC, right?
universe. There ain't nobody. So I don't know what that says about society in the DC universe, that we believe more in magic than law.
I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. So now the jury is made up of quite an interesting cast of characters. And now there's also an audience in the courtroom that consists of many other Batman
So
villains. But
all the villains supposedly are there because this is one of the first gatherings, but you only see certain ones. So I'm going to quiz K-Mac on who might be the most obvious missing villain from that group. But first, tell me who
yeah.
is this jury that will be trying these villains to determine who killed the bats?
Well, the jury is comprised of Mad Hatter, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, and then two lesser known villains, the Spook and Signalman.
Lesser known to you, they are the best villains ever.
Hey, I did my research on them today. I know all about those guys.
All right, so to tell you, we all know about Poison Ivy. We all know about Mr. Freeze. This is the Mad Hatter that replaced the first Mad Hatter, who they both have the same name, but this is the anthropomorphicalized version of the Mad Hatter from the Lewis Carroll fairy tales. This is not the regular Mad Hatter who looks kind of like a normal dude, but this guy's
is Johnny Depp.
That actually looks like the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, because this is the point where they like changed it over because they're like, we got to make him more comical, we got to make him look like that. That guy eventually gets killed by the original Mad Hatter at one point, oddly enough. And then we have, of course, Scarecrow, we all know from many Batman, but we have the Spook, who is awesome.
Ooh, scary.
And Signalman, who's less awesome.
Much less awesome.
So Signalman's gimmick is he would send signals up when he was ready to do his crimes, and then he would try to commit his crimes under Batman's watch. Which
he got his idea from the bat signal.
Yes. Which when you're messing with the world's greatest detective already, I don't think it's the best idea to actually give him a lead by saying, hey, I'm going to commit a crime tonight. Here's my signals. So needless to say, Signalman got caught a whole lot.
One time I read he actually stole the bat boat.
which an impressive thing, because if I was going to steal of all the bat vehicles, I'd probably steal the bat boat myself, because you get a lot more friends with boats.
True, bigger parties on boats.
Bat boats and hoes, that's what I'm saying. Bat boats, bat hoes.
I still have to watch that movie.
Bat boats and bat hoes. That's all I'm about. But yeah, so Signalman, don't know why he gets chosen. The other ones, obviously. And then, of course, the Spook, who is a draftsman who helped design the prison, not Arkham, but the prison in the DC universe in Gotham. And he designed secret passages to get people out. And so that was his gimmick, is he would sell escape plans to the villains so they could get out even if they got caught. So in the issues he first appears, the people that get caught by Batman is like, take me in, I don't give a rat's ass about anything. And they're like, you can't keep me. And he's like, you're going to jail, you're going to be on. No, you can't keep me. And the Spook would break him out, but he would also dress up like a spooky ghost, which is kind of awesome, because, you know, if you're going to play the part. But he's also described in the who's who of the DC universe as being the third best escape artist. The third best. Behind the Batman, Mr. Terrific, and of course the Spook coming in at number 3.
What is he the master of?
Just being spooky. I don't know. You tell me.
He is a master hypnotist.
Oh, I did not remember this.
And so the reason he calls himself the Spook is because he was arrested for the murder of his boss, the boss of the prison building company.
The architect.
Yeah.
And he's the draftsman.
Right. And he hypnotized someone to believe he was him and sent that guy to get executed for the murder.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Then he waited 10 years. Right? 10 years go by. And then he started breaking people out. But He's such a master hypnotist, he can actually put himself in a trance. So he moves really, really slow, like he's dead. I don't know why you would do that, but
So,
that's his thing.
who would be quicker? He's moving so slow, or the signalman puts a signal on him that he's moving so slow that the Batman catches him.
Yeah, I think they'd make a good team. What if they're trying to give these guys a push?
Well, I think they'd be a good like afternoon talk show host, the Signalman and the Spook.
Yeah.
Signals and Spooks. I think that'd be a good show. I'd listen to. I'd watch that. I think all the villains would. All
Yeah,
right.
so they were definitely an interesting choice to be in the jury.
So those are the jurors. Oddly, it's 6 instead of the full 12. I don't know why. Maybe in villain land, the snake stands land, you only need 6 to convict. You don't need 12. So I don't quite know how that works.
Well, considering DC at the time, they probably didn't want to spend the money to fit 12 people in the panel.
They were like, we ain't got enough ink and colors to put in 12 every time.
We can't think of anything to write about these people to put them in the story.
But they did have, so over the issues, but we'll get to that. There's lots of villains that appear, but we have 4 main claimants that 3 have submitted beforehand evidence to Harvey Dent that they killed the Batman, and 1 who did not. And tell me, who are the 4 claimants that are worthy enough to be heard? Because they do pre-vet this. They don't just take anyone. They have a grand jury that like sits around and goes, "Yeah, that one doesn't count. That guy's not guilty. That guy's not guilty." Which they're very upset about. I killed the Batman, so there's lots of people BSing out there, but there's only 4 people that actually make the list. And who are those? Who makes the list? K. Mackworth.
Well, Sir Lexington, Yaxington,
Lexington.
damn it. So, like you said, there's 4 primary
this is a very serious
suspects.
issue. You got to put on your voice.
Right. There are 4 primary suspects. First is Catwoman Selina Kyle. The second, the Riddler Edward Nygma. Third, and a surprising non-Batman villain who appears in these stories, Lex Luthor, which I was super pumped that Lex Luthor.
What's his real name?
Alex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
Alexander Luthor. Alexander Luthor. I watched Smallville. And the fourth is obviously the number 1 Batman villain, the Joker.
The Joker, of course.
Whose real name is Jack Nicholson. Jack Napier.
Yeah, Heath Ledger Jackson.
Heath Ledger.
Jack
and
Nicholson.
he has his own band, too.
Jared Leto, Jack Nicholson, Cesar Romero.
Yes.
So those are the four people that are claiming. But in the issues, we also see a cavalcade of really unique villains. We see Killer Moth, Le Cavalier, or just the Cavalier, Scarecrow, Captain Stingery, one of Batman's first pirate villains that he gets to fight, the Clue Master, the Getaway Genius, who's my favorite because he's a guy that looks like your typical loan shark, but he wears shades, and that's kind of one of his giveaways. He wears purple shades. Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and he eventually sees somebody named Spark Grimes, who's an aide to Lex Luthor. K-Mac, who is the most, this quiz time for you kids out there and you peasants.
I'm ready.
Who's the most notable missing of the villains from these issues?
I think it's the Penguin.
Oh, he gets it right tonight, kids.
Yeah? He's not in there at all.
He's not in there at all. And there's speculation online in the many fancy people talking about this on Ryan, who had this series about their blog, that he was actually arrested in Arkham. I don't know if that was true or not. I don't know. Maybe it just been like K-Mac that Kingwin being more corpulent would take up more panels, and they didn't want to pay for that or not. But
yeah, I don't know if continuity was much of their concern at this point.
Especially in the storytelling, where when we get to some of the issues here, that not so much worrying. It's more going for the gags. But so that's the stage, kids, that we got. We have all these great characters. And which of the cavalcade of villains do you like the best? Who's who in outlawry, as they say in the book. So it's not a distinct, it's a who's who of outlawry.
Yeah. I liked, two of them were there. Well, 2 or 3, I guess. But the Cavalier, what I thought was funny about. Actually, I'm going to hold off on that one because that's something I want to talk about later. But
We're gonna get into this.
yeah, but I like the Clue Master. He's a lot like Signalman. I mean, I don't get it. So same with Signalman and Clue Master. Essentially, someone trying to come up with a character that's almost exactly like the Riddler, but not exactly like the Riddler. So Clue Master would leave clues around for Batman to find, like as to his next crime, which doesn't make any sense to me. But his whole purpose was to try to learn what Batman's identity was, and he has these like blue, uh, what are they like?
Plastic pellets.
Yeah, plastic pellets, and some have smoke, and some have like explosives in them. And I guess he would throw them at Batman, but his whole MO was to try to find Batman's secret identity so that the villains could have an easier time committing crimes. But he would leave clues about his crimes, kind of like the Riddler and the Signalman. So that's kind of odd. And then you have a good note here about Captain Stingery. I thought that was hilarious, so I'll let you talk about that one.
Well, when we get to
Yeah.
Captain Stingery, when he's actually his second appearance in there, when he talks to actually somebody in the comics, but they Captain Stingery appears as they wanted to create a Batman villain that was a pirate, and the guys came up with one, and then somebody that was an editor at the time says, "This is his name." Like, that's the dumbest name ever. And it was like, don't care, roll with it. So I'm a big fan of the Getaway Genius, whose whole gimmick was he doesn't even rate a DC Wiki fandom page. That's how low the Getaway Genius is, almost. Actually, he does have one, but he doesn't actually. No, I'm sorry, he didn't rate a who's who in the DC universe in the '80s. But his whole gimmick is he's like, no one's gonna beat the Batman, so we got to focus on getting away from the Batman. And he sold, like the spook who sold escape plans from jail. He focused on selling getaway plans to the villains. So when they're like committing their crimes, it's like it's more important about getting away than actually getting the money. Gonna get caught. So both the spook and him, maybe he can be maybe the spook can get away. They
They should work together. Yeah.
their own shows. But those are the cavalcaded guys you get to see. But so we start off with issue 291, and this is where Catwoman Selena Kyle petitions and has to testify to verify that she's the person that killed the Batman. And there's a lot of indignation from the villains because they think she's in love with the Batman.
Right. And that's been going on for a very long time, since almost her introduction as a villain. And yeah, they're not happy with her, and they don't think that her testimony can be believed at all.
So the best part of this issue, really, in my opinion, is the cover. It is all the villains that we mentioned that are going to be on trial, standing around Batman's grave, and it says, I killed and they all say in unison, "I killed the Batman," and so they're all kind of singing, but it's just an epic issue. And then there's paint dripping on the grave because it says "Rest in peace, Batman," and the Joker has ripped it away, and he's actually written, instead of "Rest in peace," he has written something more epic and pure jokery. I got to pull it up here. "Burn in hell." So on the cover, you have Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, the Riddler, Lex Luthor, Selena Kyle, like Catwoman, and the Joker, and he's written over it. And then there's a nice statue on the grave. So, but that one I remember as a kid seeing this and thinking, "Whoa, that's a cover. That's how you signal it off." So in the issue, Selena Kyle has actually gone straight, and Batman goes undercover and finds out that she is not who uh, everybody thinks she is. She's playing a socialite who's ripping people off in like a charity scam, and but she's still Catwoman through and through, but she's wearing a blonde wig, so nobody knows who she is.
Yeah, in the DC universe, you don't need much to be disguised. Glasses, wig, and you're good.
And she has a henchman named Bongo,
Bongo.
which is just awesome. So eventually, Batman catches on to this. He chases her down. But to get away, eventually, in all 1970s Batman issues, Batman and or Robin get hit in the back of the head for the villains. This is without exception. This occurs in every issue. Batman gets tricked into a room. Somebody comes behind the door. he turns his head, something, whack in the back of the head, whack. Usually with a Billy Jack, they don't shoot him from behind for some reason. They just whack him in the back of the head, and the villains get away. And so we'll be discussing, every time this happens, so you can look it up. In this issue, in page 13, he gets whacked in the back of the head.
Does Bongo whack him, right? Or is it a different henchman? I think it's a different guy.
Different henchman, but so that's when we get away. Eventually, everything goes foul. Batman catches up with Catwoman because he traces the hair on her jaguar, her pet jaguar, because that's what Catwoman has. They end up in a big car chase, and the Batman drives her off on the road into a river, and the only thing that's floating is Catwoman's jaguar cage with the Catwoman on top, her jaguar, and the jewels she's stolen, and Batman's drowning. And to save her life, she kicks Batman into the river, and he drowns, dying, as she claims. Even though it's heartbreaking for her, she'd rather have the jewels than the man she loves.
Yeah, well, that's Catwoman for sure. Yeah, there's little bubbles on the surface to indicate that Batman's dying, but nothing can get past the prosecutor on this case. Two-Face, very good lawyer.
Two-Face, the best lawyer.
Yes.
Brings in the cage, brings in a tub of water. The cage, he points out in this trial, because he's studied up, is made of Brazilian pepperwood.
Yeah, of course. What else would it be made of?
I've been to the Furniture Expo a lot. I've been to the outlets. I've been to the IKEAs. I've never seen anything made out of Brazilian pepperwoods. So I would have fallen for it myself. But we find out Two-Face dumps the cage into a vat of water. And what happens in that cage, K. Mackworth?
Well, it sinks, of course.
It sinks like a rock.
Right. See, and here's the thing, too. I think at my old house, we had a Brazilian pepper tree, right? I think that's what somebody told me it was called. And the branches on that tree would...
The realtors say, oh, look at this gorgeous tree. It's
a Brazilian pepperwood, of course.
It's Brazilian pepper tree.
Yeah. But you could take the branches and almost tie them in a knot. So I don't know. I think
some thick wood.
It probably would float.
Are you Harvey Dent?
Yes.
We just revealed something that K. Mackworth may be the Two-Face of crime.
Correct. So Catwoman leaves exposed, right? She's been exposed as not having killed the Batman.
Crying in her tears because she really did love the Batman, and she mainly wanted to be there to throw everybody off the scent, per se, so they would think he was dead, and that hopefully she would be the one that could claim it, and they would leave him alone, and hopefully she'd discover his life. But that's what happens, and they determine, what is it? The jury screams out, "Not guilty."
Right. She is not guilty. So my favorite part of this issue happens at the beginning, where they're going through all the rumors that Batman is dead. Like every city, the crime bosses in that city are meeting, to see if everyone else heard that Batman was dead. And, some rumors are that he was shot. Someone else comes up behind him with a noose.
Strangled him. A guy in a purple turban. I went researching to see if I could figure out if the guy with the purple turban.
Did they show who he was?
No, there's no villain with a purple turban as far as Google's land. I couldn't find it because I was like, this guy's got to be a villain. He's got a purple turban, and they're watching a video of him.
Yeah, it's weird how they had videos of it all too, even though it didn't happen. They must have had all right, guys, we have to reenact this now. Batman's dead. Go get some actors. But there's one rumor, and it's down in Miami, that the Cavalier killed him, which I thought was hilarious. The Cavalier is actually one of the villains in the audience at this trial. But just someone who looks as ridiculous as the Cavalier would never be able to kill Batman.
The Cavalier looks like a guy from the Three Musketeers packages. For you peasants
right,
out
exactly.
there.
Exactly.
Yes,
so he was a collector of exotic items for his museum, and he couldn't get them all. So then he decided to dress up as a member of Three Musketeers and go steal them. That's his MO. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious. I know. I know. You got to get your exotic items.
So he would also have been not guilty, like the Catwoman.
Correct.
Which now here's the part where this is where DC, this is the part where it's like masterpiece comic theater, where they transcended both telling the story from the point of view of the villains. Batman only appears, as a side character. It's the villains that are focused on, and they're telling their story instead. So it's not even anti-hero story. It's really villain storytelling. But then they continue it to a next issue, and then a next issue, and a next issue, which was 4 parts, which kind of pretty cool in the 1970s, kind of breaking their trend of really boring storytelling. And I'll let K. Mackworth walk us through the next issue, 292, where the Riddler claims he killed the Batman.
Well, like you were saying, though, it's kind of their first baby step into continuous storytelling, because each issue does kind of have a self-contained story, but the broader story continues for the next few issues. So now the Riddler's story is very interesting, and it's kind of complicated because he has all of these riddles, obviously. So
He riddles the riddles.
he riddles and riddles and riddles.
Master.
Yeah, so the Riddler, he comes onto the stage, and right away he gives Harvey Dent a riddle about a cigar, which I can't remember right now. Oh,
It was something to the effect of, the way this ends is the same way that cigar ends.
why is my cigar like the testimony I'm about to give? Right, so the Riddler,
What happens to that
it explodes.
cigar?
So the Riddler starts out his story, so in a similar storytelling fashion, he's giving his testimony about where he was on the night Batman was killed. So he's waiting.
We talked about the Claw holding this at his house. He also constructed a full courtroom. Did you?
Oh, good point.
Did you find that on also that he stopped in the middle of his day and it's like, yeah, we need a jury panel, we need a judge bench, we need
We
prosecutor
need
table.
we need a witness stand, and we need
the gallery.
yeah, pews for a gallery. Yeah, it's maybe he just had one laying around.
They take this trial seriously, kids.
Yeah, that is a good point. Like, why do you have that in your house, dude?
Well, I'm not Van Cleeve the Claw.
No.
So that's
So
the
this,
scene. I'm getting it, of course, kid.
yeah, that's the scene, and it's all nice and wooden, and it looks like a classic courtroom.
Yeah.
So he did a good job. He really, really believes in quality.
Boy, he believes in the justice system for villains.
Yes, 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 yes. That's one thing. You commit a crime, that's fine, but we need to have a nice courtroom here to find out who killed Batman. So apparently, what the Riddler does with his evenings is he waits on suburban roads to see if the Batman's going to drive by, because that's how his story starts. He's like, I'm waiting on the side of this road to see if the Batman's going to come by, because I thought he was. And when I see him coming, I'm going to put a big mirror on the road. So he puts a big mirror on the road, and Batman stops because it looks like there's a gigantic vehicle coming toward him. Batman goes to investigate the mirror. Oh, and it's really funny. In all of their stories, there's a moment, well, maybe not Catwoman's, but at least in Riddler's, Lex Luthor's, and Joker's, there's a moment where Batman is really, really confused about what's going on, right? And the Riddler's, there's 2 of them. So Batman is like super confused about this mirror. He's like, what? And the Riddler puts a riddle on the mirror, and then he blows up the mirror. So they go from there. And the Riddler, apparently, in this story, is also murdering people as well. So the riddle led them to Batman and Commissioner Gordon to the murder.
It was something to do to effect of the shoals on the shoals or something.
Yeah, the founder and the shoals.
So it was whose name rhymes, whose name means the same. Whose the person that killed, whose names mean the same thing where they ended up? Something to
Yeah,
that effect.
shall we play the Riddler's game with meaning change but word the same? Then find the founder who found fame before he founders in his name. Dun, dun, dun. Woo.
So it turns out there's a guy named John Scholes who ends up driving a boat dead into the shoals of a beach
Right.
in Gotham.
Which then somehow lets Batman know that the Riddler is going to try to pull a heist, right? So they're trying to rob this truck, but outside the back of the truck comes Batman. And beats up all Riddler's goons. There's one panel where Batman lifts up the goon above his head like he's the ultimate warrior, and then just chucks him to the side. It's pretty
So it's
funny.
like at a dinner party, and they're trying to do this heist, and so the goons are wearing tuxedos. There's also an epic panel where Batman does the dunk head. He does a dunk head on a villain's head, and it does the split kicks.
Yeah, and I'm looking at one right now where he's doing a handstand scissor kicks. You see
Yeah,
that?
but it's like the whirling top scissor kick. So he's like, yeah, like a
Yeah,
gymnast doing the floor exercises. Woo! Helicopter.
yeah, and then he punches a guy like his head's a punching bag essentially,
Oh yeah, it's like da 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 da.
and then he blows off his fist, and then Riddler shoots him, and and at first you think, oh, well, that's how the Riddler killed him. And then they go after the armored truck and leave Batman, and they don't get the armored truck. So then the Riddler, at that point in the story, he's saying he thought he killed Batman. Then he decides he's going to crash this party in Gotham City, full of rich socialites, and he disguises.
This is where he does. They're all wearing the tuxedos. Yeah, yeah. This is the part.
Yeah, and so he goes disguised as Bruce Wayne, which is actually really funny. So Bruce Wayne's at this party.
Bruce Wayne being now the Riddler.
Yes, Bruce Wayne being the Riddler is at this party, and here comes my favorite part of this issue. The host of the party, which is a birthday party for his wife Elena,
Birthday party. Riddler, Bruce Wayne in the house.
and so this is like a gift that Sir Yexington would give to somebody. It sounds exactly like it. And this is my favorite part of
Oh,
this is
oh,
my
I know the gift that we're talking about.
so he gives his wife who wants to, I guess, start writing. Is that what it says? Oh, she's going to become an author. So he gives her a typewriter made of gold, platinum, and ivory with the keys with diamond, ruby, and ruby studs. Now, the ribbon in this typewriter is made out of silk from a Ming Dynasty robe, and the case for the typewriter is emeralds. It's like, great, that's perfect.
You don't have one?
Well, yeah, I do. I have two. How many do you have?
I'm not an author.
There's one right here.
No, I see it, but that's what the Riddler wants to steal now.
Right. The Riddler gets his goons to come while he's still posing as Bruce Wayne to steal the typewriter. And then all of a sudden, Batman shows up, and Riddler's like, wait a second, I thought I killed Batman. This is and now they're in tuxedos, and you can tell the story again. And Batman's fighting the goons, and Batman does the awesome what?
He does a super head dunk on a guy. So like when you're in a pool and you dunk your brother or your sister between your legs over top, but then he also does a scissor kicks and kicks two villains in the face. How awesome is that?
Yeah. Batman is a skilled gymnast ass kicker in this one.
He does a dunk scissor kick in plain air on three guys wearing tuxedos. Baseballs.
That's
I'm gonna tell you, this beer goes well with the story tonight. The raspberry Saison, Snake's Den, barrel aged. Yeah, feeling it.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I'm about to open my second champagne velvet. Goes down smooth.
Yeah, just like you're wearing a tuxedo, watching a fancy typewriter almost get stolen.
Exactly. So the Riddler henchman grabs a typewriter and runs, and Riddler runs after him to escape, and Batman's running behind the two of them. So then Riddler, Bruce Wayne turns around, and Batman sees him, and Batman has another one of his like stupid moments in the tale where he can't believe what's going on and he's shocked.
And what happens?
And Batman gets whacked in the back of the head with a gun.
That's page 11.
Yes. It's a good walk too. And then
Without
the henchman, the henchman escapes. Bruce Wayne Riddler hangs around, leaves another riddle for Batman, which says, once again, take new aim, meaning different, word the same. The object of the hunter's game is what gives the place its name.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the Riddler.
Why do you hate the Riddler? He's like the best. I'm sorry. The Riddler, straight up, I like Riddler. I like Riddler better than Joker. Straight up.
It depends. So there
There's
was
an
there
outfit wearing question marks.
true in the new Batman run, he actually has a question mark tattoo on his chest.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that.
He's the Riddler. Well, see, if there's going to be psychosis, so this is the difference actually between the Clue Master and the Riddler. Riddler has psychosis. Clue Master, completely sane. So this is something they document.
That makes sense.
Clue Master. So the difference between a clue and a riddle is one is for the sane people and one's for the completely criminally insane. But
Okay.
I'm more a Riddler guy because it's a funner storytelling, that you have to solve, and only the best detective could solve this. Whereas the Joker is just like, I'm gonna make everybody smile, and I'm just the meanest son of a bitch ever. So,
True. What's your favorite Riddler story?
oof, oof. I haven't completely read all the riddle the War of Riddles and jokes. I really like Hush.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Hush.
I really like Hush
That was a
because
Riddler story that didn't even really involve the Riddler that much because the mind games were so
yeah,
heavy. Yeah, I like that story.
yeah.
The War of Jokes and Riddles doesn't really have much riddling in it.
But I just go back to like the old Superman, Super Friends episodes. I love the Riddler on those. When he's like, yeehaw. We gotta tell a riddle first. And they're like, what? He's like, we gotta tell a riddle first. And Grodd's like, riddle.
Oh yeah, they're in their Everglades base, and he has to tell a riddle.
The Legion of Doom.
Yeah, we should watch a bunch of those episodes and have a podcast about those.
Oh,
Like
for certain.
the one with the
What do you
alternate
mean? What
reality.
do you mean you should watch? I watch them every day.
It's been a long time for me. The one where Superman squeezes in a volcano and switches places with an alternate reality Superman, that was my favorite one.
We're gonna go to that Legion of Doom hole, but we gotta keep moving. Okay. So what happens? What happens when he solves a riddle? What's the resolution of the riddle?
The resolution of the riddle is that uh, Batman finds the Riddler at a quarry.
Because a prey, the hunter's
Hmm.
prey is a quarry, and a quarry is a place where you give rocks. So he's looking for a quarry, which is a quarry.
Right.
Rock you much.
Now, obviously, Batman knew that the Bruce Wayne at the party wasn't the real Bruce Wayne, so he kind
How
of
did you
threw
figure
him
that
off the
one
trail. Well, he's the world's greatest detective. Of course, he's going to figure that one out.
out? That was a tough one. I
I
it took me
know,
it took me 2 pages to figure it out.
right? You remember how confused he was when he saw Bruce Wayne standing there. It took him 2 pages, but he threw the Riddler off by making the Riddler think he was going to a church somewhere on Hunter's Road instead of because the word pray and pray. So then,
Pray and pray.
right. So when Riddler got to the quarry, Batman was already there, and Riddler pulls out a knife, and they start fighting. But Riddler cuts down a bunch of big limestone blocks that land on Batman with a large karoom, which is the sound that limestone blocks make when they land on someone. So then Riddler sets a bunch of dynamite near the Batman on fire, and then runs away and watches it all explode. And that is how the Riddler killed the Batman.
So he has dynamite underneath, like almost a Joan of Arc pile or pyre, like you burning a witch or something, and the fire's going, and kaboom!
Kaboom! No more Batman. Now, but
No
Harvey
more
Dent
Batman.
doesn't believe him. So Harvey Dent um, sets something up where I think they take a break, right? 15-minute recess, and Harvey Dent sets up a pyre because they just have one at at the Claw van
Oh,
Cleeve's
man.
estate. There's a pyre and a bunch of dynamite. So he has them tie Riddler up to the pyre, which, as I said, there's dynamite all underneath. They set the dynamite on fire, and the Riddler's so scared that he passes out. However, and I learned something new today. Not today, but when I read this. But this is something new for all you kids out there.
technically accurate. I researched it myself.
Yeah. So, kids, if you didn't know this, dynamite won't explode if you set it on fire. Dynamite explodes on impact. So,
No, let's clarify because this is the disclaimer.
oh,
It will, if you light the fuse and it burns down to the fuse, it ignites a percussion cap that hits the dynamite and goes kaboom.
correct.
If it's just sitting around and it catches fire in, say, a building, it burns up like paper. So it takes percussion hitting it because it's nitroglycerin. This is the physics part to
Ooh,
set off the nitroglycerin and go boom. And Harvey Dent knows this because he worked on a logging camp one
of
summer.
course. Of course.
And so he puts Riddler on the pyre, and yeah, it's burning away, and the Riddler's freaking out, and he's like, "Don't worry." And then, but this is the part that doesn't work. He just throws a stick of dynamite and it blows up.
Right. Yeah. That was a little, I assumed it was one of the ones that was burning.
It can be dropped on the ground and not explode. It takes a pretty good percussion too.
So it is then proven that the so first, Ra's al Ghul pronounces the Riddler a graduate idiot and fines him $25,000 for the damages in the dynamite demonstration and adjourns court for the day.
But you could have in the villain court, you could be fined by the court for
Yeah.
being an idiot.
Yeah, and now also too, so it seems like there might have been more people claiming that they killed the Batman because Ra's al Ghul also says that several other claimants thought things over and withdrew their complaints after or their claims after the Riddler was fined $25,000.
Well, this is justice, so you have to keep it going.
Right.
You can't just have frivolous lawsuits on the fact that you committed capital murder against the superhero.
Yeah, so Riddler is out, and I'm gonna open my next beer.
All right,
But go.
so that brings us to issue number 293, when we have a unique claimant to Who Killed the Batman, and that is not a Batman villain. It is Lex Luthor, the villain and mastermind of LexCorp, um, in a little town called Metropolis. He is referred to in these issues as the sinister Sultan of Science, which is the best name ever for the Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I like that one too. That's good. That's better than like Scientist Supreme.
And so he's wearing to go to trial
Oh no,
because
wait. So this is my favorite part.
I'm not my favorite word. Tell us.
My favorite part of this issue is they bring in Lex Luthor to take the stand, and to backtrack a little bit, having Lex Luthor in a Batman book like this, and I don't know a lot about the comic books at the time, but it must have been a big deal because he was listed on the cover as a special guest star.
Special guest villain. Special guest villain.
He comes in. Usually, you're used to Lex Luthor wearing the outfit with the crossbands, is purple and green, right? So his outfit is still purple
Or
and
a suit,
green.
or a suit, or yeah.
Yeah, yeah, or a businessman suit. And this outfit is purple and green. It's pretty much all green. He has a purple cape, huge yellow collar, purple boots, and a yellow outlined letter L in the middle of his chest and a giant gold belt buckle. It's spectacular.
It is the suit I want to wear when I get married.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll see, and I don't, I mean, I imagine I can do this, but I think when I post this episode on Twitter, I'm going to put an image of our great Lex Luthor costume there because it's the best. That's my all-time favorite part
Why did he only go
on the
with one
story.
L instead of double L's? Is that a fashion choice?
I know.
I mean, is that like his stylist being like, no, you're known as Luthor. You don't need to be known as Lex Luthor. So you don't need the double L. You don't need the L square. Just the L will do. Because that's what he goes to trial in. Because he's going to court. He is being tried right now for the
Right,
murder of a superhero. And he's like, no, forget my Armani suit. Forget the custom, bespoke suits I have in my closet. Give me my Luther suit. Because that's what I want to wear. He also takes pictures before the trial with other villains because he's so confident in his claim that he actually committed capital murder. So Luther rolls in, takes the stand, and begins his story. And his story isn't like the previous before, where they're like actually saying, "Hey, I killed the Batman." He's actually like working on the premise that he's actually trying to kill the Superman instead, which is interesting because this is not really a vendetta for Luthor against Batman; it's a vendetta against Superman. So he takes a stand and he explains how he's going to commit this heist in Gotham to steal Charlemagne's crown. Charlemagne being the medieval king of France, and he's working on it.
Why, knowing what Gotham City is, right? Why would anyone bring anything valuable there, let alone like Charlemagne's crown? Like it's like
Well,
bringing the Mona Lisa to Gotham City. Goodness
it,
gracious.
it is the capital of culture in whatever DCUS is. The Batman's protecting all this stuff because you know it's going to get stolen. So that's part of the rider of the insurance is like we 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 will only insure you if Batman doesn't get it back.
That's probably right.
It's in the rider and the insurance. If Batman don't get it back, you don't get no money. And there probably is like a disclaimer. It's like Batman has to be active within 120 days of the object appearing in town. So so you have to like have a Batman sighting before they actually debut it within
That,
120.
yeah, that's a super interesting insurance policy. Has to be.
You know Harvey Dent's like working overtime on this, because it's not like and maybe they like maybe Nightwing, a half a Robin.
You only get paid half the value if it's Nightwing in the city.
Yeah, if Nightwing's in the city, you don't get the full value. But Lex Luthor has staged this whole thing because he has a bigger prize in mind. He wants to use technology he shipped into outer space using a mazer to switch bodies between the Batman and Superman so he can put the Superman in Batman's body who's mortal and beat the ever-loving crap out of him. So for all those people out there that don't know, mazers are the precursor to lasers. Maser stands for microwave amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So back in the day, one of the first experiments they did to work on sending information and telecommunications and actually sending beams out there, they figured they could boost up the signal of microwaves, which are a lower form of electromagnetic radiation using other radiation. And then they realized shortly after that, it's like, that's kind of cool. And then they're like, but light's way, way, way freaking faster. So why don't we do that? And we make
That's
lasers.
light moves at the speed of light, super fast.
And they're like, microwave. Well, this is the physicist in me. Microwaves actually moves at the speed of light, but it's a little.
But
But
you think like, but then anything, if you have corn in the path, it turns into popcorn. So it's super inconvenient.
it carries some heat with it. So, but they're like, whoa. So, but Lex Luthor in the 70s was still stuck on masers, even though at the time they're like, yeah, we're already figuring out lasers. So I don't know if he's really the sultan of science or not, but so he uses this device. He thinks he switches bodies of the Batman with Superman, and then he stows away the Batman, who's now Superman, the Batman's body, and he's wearing his power suit, and he's going to kill the Batman and eventually take over Superman's body, who's in another place addressing like a charity crowd who he stowed away to switch bodies with, and he's erased their memories on both of them, and he proceeds to beat the ever loving S out of Superman
What does
using
he use to do that?
using special pain-inducing gloves. So not only is Lex Luthor an asshole, he's a super asshole because he doesn't want to kill him. He wants to induce pain as he kills him. And so there's multiple panels of him just wailing on the Bat Superman. Because kids remember, Superman doesn't have any other skills other than he's Superman. So he's in Batman's body, but doesn't know Batman's super fighting techniques to avoid pain-inducing gloves. And so he beats the other loving crap out of him, kills him, he thinks, and then and that's the way it ends. And he's waiting around to collect his accolades for killing the Batman. But that's not what happens because we didn't find out if he was really dead because he didn't have evidence. Because why, K-Mac?
Because he shot him up into the satellite.
Yes. He shoots him to space, thinking he's all done with them, doesn't need it anymore. And then so Lex Luthor there sitting on the stand, and Harvey then thinks for a while, and he goes, "Hey, Harvey, I need to talk to one. I Harvey goes, I need to talk to Lex Luthor's aide on this one. His chief aide, who is Spark Grimes. So the Sultan of Science, the smartest man in the world, has a henchman named Spark Grimes, who sounds like the electrician you call when your power goes out in a microburst.
So in the Superman movies, the original Christopher Reeves ones, Lex Luthor had a henchman. Was his name Spark Grimes? Was that the name of the guy?
I didn't get to Google around and figure this out because
Well, while you're explaining, I'm going to check.
so Spark Grimes had to take the stand here on this on Luthor, and Luthor's like, "Why are you taking the stand on him?" He's like, "Look, I got called. I got a subpoena. I ain't gonna ignore a subpoena. Look what happened to the Riddler. He has to pay 25,000. I ain't got 25,000. I ain't Lex Luthor. I'm Spark Grimes." And it turns out there was somebody working on the Hitchman crew that was asking a whole lot of questions before the caper went down. And Spark Grimes is like later on figures out that ain't the guy that's the henchman because he finds his real henchman locked up in the closet. And he's like, whoa, what's happened? And then bam, Luthor's like, what? And Two-Face is like, that's the Batman that was acting because that's amazing. And then he goes, I'm calling my special guest witness. And who's that special guest witness?
It's Superman.
Oh my God, Superman's
Yeah.
coming to the villain's trial.
So in this Batman issue, you have guest villain Lex Luthor, and you have surprise witness Superman. Oh, and for the record, the Lex Luthor henchman in the Superman movies was Otis,
Otis, okay.
played by Ned Beatty.
Fabulous Ned Beatty, who's most famous for a certain scary scene in a movie called Deliverance that we won't talk about in this podcast because we try to keep a little G-rated.
Correct.
But so Superman comes in and he unanimously authorizes what you're the lawyer. What's the term where you can't you pronounce everybody innocent in the room except for Lex Luthor? What does he say?
Oh, he gives everyone, I think,
Immunity.
he gives them all amnesty.
He gives them all amnesty immunity except Lex Luthor on what he's going to testify upon.
Yeah, so he's not going to bust everyone in the room, which would have been hilarious if he did, but then they wouldn't have been able to have the fourth story.
Because this is a snake's den, the who's who of outlawry, and Superman's walking to testify in this courtroom because it's a real courtroom, kids. They have a bench, they have a judge, they have a prosecutor, and so Superman takes a stand, goes to the rigmarole. Turns out they were on to the whole scheme the whole time because Superman was weirded out by a donation to the charity that he was going to go speak out because it was sent by the people that Lex Luthor uses as lawyers. He teams with Batman. Batman's like, you know what I do best? I detect crap. And so he does his detecting crap, figures out there's going to be a maser involved because that's what we think back in the 70s. It's like, maser, shit's going down.
Oh, yeah.
And they figured out, so Superman protects himself from the maser because he knows it's coming in because he can also get a microwave background. Rigmarole goes around. Batman actually switches with Superman in the Batman costume for a little bit, and then the person that Batman or Lex Luthor thinks he's beaten down is actually Superman, and Superman has to play like Vegetable Man, so Lex Luthor doesn't break his hands even with the pain-inducing gloves. Lex Luthor's like freaked out when it comes out, and he's like, "No, this isn't true." And he's like, and Superman's like, "Yeah, I'm standing here. I'm super fucking man." And everybody just chastises Superman or Lex Luthor as a loser. And Superman in the Batman costume actually takes off before he switches bodies and crushes the satellite, and it comes back down. And the most key element of the story, this is the part that I like best, is Superman at the point goes, I'm not the actor Batman is. And so that's part of the clue that we're getting on what's going on with the story. He's like, I'm not the actor the Batman is.
Right. Now, obviously there were Batman comics after this, so the Batman probably didn't die, but it was really funny how all of these villains are here and Superman comes in and doesn't seem at all upset that Batman's dead.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, he's probably not dead. You heard it here first.
And they're like, but they're like, Superman comes in, and they're gonna have another issue. Yeah, another issue after. Where like somebody says they're gonna kill him, but Superman's like, no, I'm not too worried about it. I only want Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor, I'm gonna take him if he loses the courtroom. But the best part is they start hamming on Lex Luthor immediately, even though he had come to shove it in everybody's face because he was like, "Yeah, killing Batman was nothing. It was just a waste product of actually trying to kill Superman because that's the real prize. That's the real prize." Now, I'm going to ask you a question about these first three issues. What happens at the last panel? What appears in the last panel, or semi appears in the last panel of every issue?
Well, and this might not be what you're talking about, but I know Ra's al Ghul, enters his verdict at the end of every panel.
Yes, but who appears in some way in every last panel?
Dent doesn't appear in every last panel, does he? Harvey Dent?
No.
No.
There's only one person who leads us into the fourth comic in this series, the Joker. So in the first two, he appears smiling and grinning, and the last one with Luthor, he just hears a cackle from the crowd of the Joker.
So
So
do
that's
I. Ha ha ha. Yeah. All right. I
so
see it
this
now.
is this is pointed out by the other scholars who've reviewed these in the High Art of Comic reviews, um, noticing that this is part of the storytelling that's leading us forward. It's like these other three people obviously aren't, but we know who did. So from issue 291 onward, it's not the other three people. It's the Joker who has the best claim to actually killing him.
Right. He has the last laugh.
Yeah, he has, as you would say.
Aha. Yeah.
And
So let's go off on a tangent real fast. So now Lex Luthor in 1977, right, is using masers, correct?
yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give props to someone here who I kind of railed on you about in our last podcast. So at this point in Marvel Comics, right, Hank Pym had created Pym particles to make himself big and small. He
Yes.
had created artificial intelligent life in Ultron, who was able to create another artificial intelligent life, at least one, right? Because
Yes.
was Vision and Joe Caustic created by 1977?
Yes, they were both created by
Okay.
Ultron. Yes.
So he had created an artificially intelligent life form that was able to create its own artificially intelligent life forms by,
Two times over.
yeah, two times over. And in 1977, what did they call him? The sinister scientist? What do they call him? The sinister sultan of science
Science, yes.
is still using masers. Holy crap.
Lagging behind in the DC universe a little bit.
Yeah.
Behind
So,
the Scientist Supreme. who,
right.
who is a B character, most people would consider. I mean, he had his own Marvel one-shot premiere issues and things like that, but yeah, still Tales to Astonish popping up, but yeah, he's not the lead villain of the whole universe.
Right. Or the lead hero of the whole universe either.
No.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, that tells you how far ahead Marvel was in their storytelling capabilities at this point.
I'm gonna say BS. Mazer's amazing. Double
Oh, yeah.
artificial life, double artificial life, brain waves, growing, getting smaller from your B characters.
Yeah, so I just thought I would point that out. So we've digressed, but I thought that was an interesting segue to tie in
Yeah.
the last episode. Obviously, Pym, super genius.
So K Mackworth the third, I'm gonna let you close out the fourth issue, the most important issue,
Oh boy.
294, the Joker's testimony.
And so that's a big responsibility. I thank you, Sir Yexington. You truly are man of comics, sans letters. So after Lex Luthor, the fourth witness or suspect, I suppose, is, as we said, the Joker. Now, the Joker, we said this before too, was the only one not to provide his story to the court ahead of time.
Did not provide it to the court.
Right. So all the others provided their story to the court. So,
So the grand jury only indicted 3 people before we get to the Joker. The Joker was just self indicted because based on being the Joker, being the worst of the villains.
right, Batman's number, it wouldn't be the same kind of story too if they didn't have one issue devoted to the Joker telling
Yeah.
us how he killed the Batman. So where was the Joker on the night the Batman was killed? Well, he was at a place. It was a warehouse called of the building of the Chateau Bonheur Fur Company. So he was trying to
Shut the wrong way.
steal, yes, $500 in cash, $500,000 in cash. Sorry about that.
What does
So
bonheur mean in French?
I don't
Like,
know.
que Mackworth, là, you non parle français?
Non parlez-vous français?
Oh, zut là. Bonheur means a happiness. Chateau happiness. You might say a chateau laughter.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. What do you know? What a coincidence. So he was staking out the warehouse to try to rob it. But unfortunately, there was some other two-bit criminal there trying to rob the place. Joker got to watch Batman and beat the crap out of this guy. So the guy's just standing there, and Batman just taps him on the shoulder, and he's like, "Batman!" And then for some reason, instead of just punching him, he swings around him, right, and then slams him to the ground. And Batman really just beats the crap out of this guy, like jumps on him, everything. And now,
The best is
while this
Joker.
is happening, yeah, I want to ask you, while this is happening, what was Joker doing?
So Joker is soaking this all in like it's like Saturday morning cartoons when you're 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. But he doesn't just watch it like a normal man. He goes, I laugh you not. He goes, I'm lying doggo watching this. I had never heard the term lying doggo, but it is apparently the 70s version of downward dog in yoga. So doggo is yoga is Joker's version of downward dog. Instead of saying downward dog, he says doggo.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny too.
It means Joker was ahead of his time in yoga. Like we all these kids now doing yoga. No, Joker was doing it back in the 70s, doing doggo his own. He's like, I ain't got freaking time to say downward dog. I'm just saying doggo. It does appear being doggo in the comic book panel.
Yeah, and so the whole time Joker did have his gun with him, but apparently it wasn't loaded, so he couldn't use it.
Yeah, because that's not the way Joker rolls.
So Joker goes back to his hideout, and he's gonna
So he
plan.
so yeah, Joker's there to like steal the thing. The crime, the other burglar doesn't steal it because Batman beats the crap out of him. No one steals the thing, so there's still the thing at the Chateau Bonheur, the 500 grand worth of stuff for the Joker to steal. So he's like, yeah, I'll come back when I want.
He already has the whatever he put over the alarm to prevent the alarm from tripping, so he knows he can go back whenever he wants. But he doesn't rob it that night because he knows Batman's still there, looking around for anyone else. He goes back and plans the robbery for the next night. He has this ring on his finger, I guess, which has a little. The top flips up and there's a pin in it that he can put poison in, or whatever. He puts the well. We'll talk about that at the end, but he puts something in there, and so he sneaks back in the next night. And this is another point in these stories where when Joker comes across Batman, Batman looks completely confused, like no idea what's going on. So I think from all their perspectives, Batman is just like always confused about what's going on with them. It just seems like that's what they think. So he surprises Batman, and Batman's like, Joker, what are you doing here? And then Joker sprays him in the face with something called dissolving fluid, right? And it's a blinding
but,
dose.
but so the best part about this is it looks like a poison can, like an old school like pump poison can, but it also looks like a giant pepper mill that you get at Olive Garden. He's like, "Did you want more pepper with that?"
It's a really weird looking gun or spray. It's like so when you go in the pool, you have those like foam things that you pull the end out and they fill with water and you spray. It kind of works, as one of those do. That essentially disables Batman, and Joker um, finds it really easy to dodge Batman's punches. Well, there's a really cool page in this issue with where the panels are all around the Joker's head, and it shows how the Joker's dodging all the Batman's punches.
Yes, like it's effortless. Effortless.
And then Batman just, well, does Joker hit him? Yeah, I think he hits him, and he hits him with that ring. Batman starts laughing, and it turns out that ring was tipped with a lethal injection of Joker's laughing toxin, and Joker accidentally killed Batman. He didn't mean to. Then he takes off Batman's mask, and he just dumps a whole bunch of dissolving liquid on his face because he didn't want to.
He doesn't dump it. He pepper mills it.
Oh, he does peppering it.
You
Yeah.
want some more pepper? You want some Parmesan cheese? He grinds it on him, and away goes Batman's face.
Yeah, and he did it to his hands too, so they couldn't check fingerprints, right? Didn't he say that?
He does, because Joker doesn't care about fingerprints or your face. He cares about more Parmesan, more pepper.
So, but Joker doesn't have any actual hard evidence with him.
My favorite part of this is, where does the Joker go back to between all these incidences?
Oh, his hideout is what is it?
What's this hideout called? The Hacienda. So there's lots of language jokes.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
And it's masterpiece theater storytelling. So you have to pay attention to everything. Last panels, language. This is high art, kids.
Yes, it's only the best classic art here.
Yeah,
So the Joker does have some proof. He did take photographs, but he wasn't going to bring them into the courtroom full of all of the thieves. They ask for a recess for him to go get those, and he gets 1 hour recess, and the Joker leaves. And how do all the other villains feel about it?
They are really pumped, and this is where my man Captain Stingray comes in and says, I gotta look it up because it's my favorite quote. "You're okay, Big J." My man, the pirate.
Yeah, so when we were looking up, trying to pick out our favorite parts of the issues, I was reading this and I was like, oh, that's my favorite part. And then I looked and you had already picked it. Like,
You're okay, Big J. Captain Stingray appears twice, and this is the second appearance. I had to look. I only found the first appearance first, and then I was flipping through, and it's like, oh my god, he appears dramatically in the end to tell us the Joker did it. The Joker is the man that killed the Batman.
And yeah, Joker's walking out of the room like a hero. But then, after the Joker leaves, this is when the story takes its turn. The whole time, prosecutor for these trials has been Two-Face. So Two-Face heads outside of the courtroom and immediately.
Before we do that,
yeah.
So Batman in this issue gets whacked in the back of the head in page 7, but it's after he gets sprayed in the face with acid.
Right.
After. And I didn't mention beforehand, in the Lex Luthor issue, Batman don't get whacked in the head because it wasn't Batman.
Superman as Batman.
Only Batman gets whacked in the back of the head. Gets whacked in the back of the head. So that's a little clue for us out there.
Oh, good point.
First 2 issues, Batman gets whacked in the back of the head. He's real Batman. Third issue, Superman gets whacked in the back of the head. Fourth issue, Batman only gets whacked in the head, but after he's been assaulted in the face with acid. So he's not full Batman. He's not full Batman.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Because only full Batman gets whacked in the back of the head.
That's his job.
That's his job.
That's the only, he can't be the world's greatest detective until he gets whacked in the back of the head.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, K.M. Mackworth. That's part of high art.
You are a scholar, Sir Yexington. Unmatched.
Indubitably.
Yes. Unmatched in the field of back of the head wonkings, for sure. So Two-Face is ripping off his face, and it turns out this whole time, Two-Face has really been Batman.
What?
I know. I thought maybe Two-Face was really the Harvey Dent persona had taken over and he was helping Batman. Maybe that was what was going on, but turns out he was Batman altogether. And then it kind of goes through.
As we were told, Superman's not as good an actor as Batman. There's only one better actor, and it was while saying Batman was an actor as a henchman to Lex Luthor. So we know we didn't foreshadowed, if you will, that Batman might be in the room.
Yeah, they definitely, did a pretty good job setting this up and foreshadowing.
And it would have been better if as he was peeling off his mask with Two Faces, somebody walked him in the back of the head, like kill him off.
That would have been good, yeah.
It'd been like, bam, you're Batman, wank.
Oh yeah, or if it was Captain Stingery.
God, more Captain Stingery.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Captain Stingery and the Plunderer can team up. So Joker goes back to his hideout, the Hacienda, to get the photographs of dead Batman. And while he's looking at them and gloating, bat cuffs get slapped on his hands because Batman followed him. But then here comes my favorite part now. Joker manages to slip free of Batman for a moment, and he puts something on his head. He has.
It's not just something.
It's not something, but I'm going to tell you what it is. It's a bejeweled circlet that radiates heat. I love that it's bejeweled. That's the important part. It's like it's like he went and got a shirt made that had all the little jewels on it.
Well, he was watching late night TV and he's like, I need a bedazzler for my fucking hand.
Right. I need a bedazzler for my circlet. Oh, Joker. That's crazy.
Look, Riddler's trying to steal some fancy typewriter that has silk ribbon. I need to bedazzle my circlets immediately.
I mean, and so clearly, right, the Riddler is a, a better villain for Masterpiece Comics theater. He's trying to steal,
Yes.
that typewriter we were talking about. Joker is bedazzling his circlet.
He's too busy putting rhinestones on his circlet so he can shoot some heat waves and try to control that.
He's like, I have this circlet that radiates heat. It needs some jewels. It doesn't look pretty.
The Sultan of Science that handed it to him was like, all right, here it is. It's like, it's not shiny. It's shiny, but where's the jewels? Where's the jewels?
Bedazzle.
Give me, the henchman's like, have you seen the bedazzler? It's like, get me that. And he's sitting around the hacienda. Prop up. What happens next?
It bends air and light rays so Batman really can't tell what's going on, which allows Joker.
What we say? Bejewel him?
Bedazzle. He was bedazzled by it. So Joker whacks him in the back of the head, kicks him in the back of the head, and then punches him in the side of the head, double whacks him in the back of the head, which is pretty impressive. So Batman gets.
That's the real Batman. That's the real Batman.
Yeah. So he's definitely the real Batman. Batman eventually gets him by just like flailing around madly and eventually hitting the Joker and then dragging him off. And then Joker gets put in jail, or not in jail, but does he get taken to Arkham? Or yeah, he gets taken to Arkham. And who does he bump into in Arkham? Why don't you say?
It'd be Two-Face being like, what? And the Joker's like, Two-Face, I just saw you. They caught you too. And he's like, what do you mean they just caught me? I've been caught for weeks. I actually been in solitary after the Teen Titans took me in for like 2 weeks for some unknown reason. They put me in solitary, and the Joker's like, ha 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 ha. The joke's on us. The Batman knew all along.
Yeah, he did. And he set it up very well. So apparently the Batman that the Joker killed.
Wait, what? Yeah, what happened? The Joker killed a Batman wearing a Batman costume and peppermilled his face. What happened there?
Right. So that was a dude named Jerry Randall, who apparently.
Jerry Randall.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose Jerry Randall as this dude's name, but he apparently had like an exact replica Batman outfit, and every time.
Jerry Randall is like the guy that works at 7-Eleven that makes the best hot dogs ever. He's like, hey, Jerry, what's up?
Right. Or he's like comic book guy at the comic book store. It's like, I can be Batman too.
And so why was he wearing the Batman costume?
Well, he was practicing to be Batman in the event that the villains finally, killed Batman. He would then take over.
So he's what I do every day. I every day I'm doing a million push-ups. I'm doing the Batman workout. I'm ready to take over in case the Batman doesn't
Hmm.
show up to work.
I'm doing a million pull-ups.
Doesn't pull his card. I'm there.
Right. So that dude got killed instead.
Got killed. Got
Yeah,
killed.
got killed.
So it's a lot of comical talk, but I've noted at least 3 people that have gotten killed in this.
Yeah, Riddler murdered one,
Yep.
Joker murdered another. That still, that's pretty heavy for DC in the 70s.
And then you're bringing some pain-inducing gloves on those bad boys.
Oh yeah,
Not just kill the Superman, pain-inducing. That's some super wackadoodle BDSM stuff that Lex Luthor's into.
yeah, no joke, no joke. Oh, so it doesn't mention what happens to the other villains, right? It seems like Batman just leaves them. But when I was reading the Who's Who entry for Signalman, it
Yeah,
said that after the trial,
he goes, not guilty.
he put a signal up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because it's funny, at the end of this last issue, the last page has a big like flare or fireworks burst that says Batman is alive and well and living in Gotham City. So that could be the Signal Man, actually.
That's your deep dive.
Yeah,
That's your deep dive. I like that.
yeah.
I like that.
But Signal Man's Who's Who entry,
RetroCon. I'm writing that now. That's not even RetroCon. That's like RealCon. That we can do that and be like, Singalman can be deep cover for the Batman.
yeah. But at the end of Signal Man's Who's Who entry, it
God, I
says,
didn't think about that. That's amazeballs. It had to be Signalman. It had to be
no, it
Signalman.
had to be because at the end of his Who's Who entry, it references this trial and it says afterwards the Batman took him and put him in jail. So he sent up the signal, and
Yeah.
Batman's like, "Oh yeah, those guys," and he went and got them and put them all in jail.
He's like, where did that firework come from? It's Signalman. There he is. All right, Signalman, let's go to jail. And Signalman's like, okay, I got you.
It was me. How'd you know?
Don't you know? Well, you always sing signals.
Right. So yeah, that had to be Signal Man because yeah, he went to jail right after.
So, do you think ladies out there like Dane's Signalman because it's like he's always sending in signals that people can read? Like he's like,
Right. He's an open book.
I'm pretty on the nose, ladies. Don't have to question. Know where you stand. It's going up. It's going up in a flare. Big searchlight. You know where you are.
Right. Everyone else does too.
It's everyone else's too. It's kind of who I am. I'm Signalman. But no, overall, I really liked reading these 4 comics because yeah, it's like initial because I've been reading a lot of 70s Batman and it's very the stories are good, but it's very much formulaic in the way that Batman shows up, and it's not always it's a new villain each time. It's not because it's Batman, and he can take some regular crime. He doesn't take on always superhero crime, but this is the first time that's like multiple issues, but it also is like turned on its head, and it's something that we see later on that actually influenced later DC things, like in the Batman animated series where they had the issue of the episode like. And he got away. I can't remember the actual name of the title of the episode where like all the villains around a poker table telling their story of how they almost killed the Batman. And at the end of the episode, Batman is actually at the table with them as one of their characters and bust them all. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that this 70s you can read it in these 4 issues. They're very quick reads for people that want to read them. Interesting, fun to read. Also fun to read with really good beer. So
I did like that. It was only 4 issues, and it was fun to read. Parts of it hilarious, obviously, and definitely the storytelling perspective from the villain side. I thought was really interesting and made it more fun.
has that camp feel of the 70s that's like Lex Luthor is taking selfies. He's taking Polaroids, which would be the selfies of the days with other villains because he thinks he killed them. One of them is Killer Moth, which is absurd because it's Killer Moth and Lex Luthor in his Lex Luthor suit, taking pictures in a courtroom set up by a supervillain at his own at his own house.
Oh, so that's my theory too, is that since you don't ever, since Colonel Jake the Claw van Cleeve isn't in any other comics, this is the only reference in these four comics to him, that's actually a front set up by Bruce Wayne.
Double conspiracy theory by
Yep.
K. Rackworth III. It might be.
Yeah, I wonder if it was actually at like Wayne Manor.
They don't know.
They don't know, right?
They're so dumb. They're like, that might be Wayne Manor. No, the Claw.
Yeah, Van Cleeve. It's his place. It's Van Cleeve's place. Yeah.
Let's show. And the Batman actually paid for a courtroom himself.
Yeah.
That's amazing. See, this is why it's Masterpiece Comic Theater, people. we don't just provide you with the story and why it's important story. We provide you the deep tertiary and quaternary.
Oh, it's all about the insight here.
Yeah, and all the deep insight while drinking the fancy beers. How did your beer treat you when we were talking about this today?
It treated me well. I liked it. I feel like it wasn't. I don't have to check my refrigerator. It wasn't as cold as I thought it would be, but the taste was good. It was smooth. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah.
Is there something like amiss with your fridge? Did the Batman set up your fridge as a way to monitor you while we're doing this podcast?
Maybe. We usually have Mr. Freeze out there, but he's on a jury right now.
He's on the jury of the 6. So yeah, it's pretty dope. You get the raspberry notes, you get the Saison notes, and you do get an undertasting of the rye barrel. It's pretty awesome. It's actually a really good beer. Normally when you buy the big guys that have been barrel aged, they're really heavy and over the top syrupy, and you, as a human being, you can only drink half of one. I'm able to drink this whole one during this whole podcast, and it's about the end right now, as you might be able to tell me.
Yeah, you're much better at describing the flavor of beers. I can pretty much just tell people whether or not they should try it.
It doesn't feel like I poured Joker's acid peppermill in my face, which is pretty good.
That is good.
Everybody out there, I'm hoping you liked listening to us talk and chatter a little bit about this great comic book series 291 through 294 Batman from the 1977. Once again, this is Masterpiece Comic Theater, so this is one of our deeper dives when we actually talk about storytelling and the evolution of storytelling in comic books. And we were really pumped to tell a story tonight and actually drink fancy beers, because we need a reason to drink fancy beers. We can't just do it on our own because they cost more.
Right.
This gives us a reason. And I'll let K-Mac read out some of our info here.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do that at the beginning. Well, first off, do you have a rating for your beer?
Yeah, no, I was going to say this is 5 votes for guilty, 1 vote for not guilty.
All right.
So the lone vote for not guilty, of course, was Signalman.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't send out a signal. That's just a heavy brewed beer.
Gotcha.
It doesn't have the heavy overnotes of Signalman. It's like, no, that doesn't tell me what I'm drinking. That's BS. I'm Signalman. I tell you what I'm drinking.
I give my beer 5 whacks to the back of the head.
5
out of 6 whacks to the back of the head. Or maybe 3, since there's 4 issues, we'll do 3 out of 4 whacks to the back of the head.
3 out of 4 whacks to the head. You heard it here. 3 out of 4 whacks to the head.
Yeah, but you can send us an email at cbcopodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from anyone, whether it's good or bad. We can take it.
We're talking to you, Columbus. We're talking to you, Washington, Virginia.
Yeah. And there's even one from Tampa, which I think is a buddy of mine. So shout out to you. Yeah, but send us an email if there's anything you'd like us to feature on the show, if there's any beers in particular you'd like us to feature, or if you want some information on how to send us beers, we'll take that too. And our Twitter handle is at CBCO_podcast. Those are the initials for comic books and cold ones. You can hit us up on Twitter, send us a tweet, tell us what you think, and we'll have the beer information and the issue information and some other information that Sir Yexington will add into the show notes for this podcast. Yeah.
So For the Advanced Institute of Funny Book Studies, this is Sir Yexington, man of Comic Sans Letter. Thank you very much for listening.
Yes, I'm Lord K. Mackworth, the third of Inkshire, signing off for the Royal Society of Comics and Sundries. Take care, everyone, and have a good night.
Please tune in to the next edition of Masterpiece Comics.